It's spring, believe it or not, and as you can see, the weather is getting better, so I want to be outside, goddammit. Luckily, there is a version of Sketchup for the iPad, which should free me a little bit from my not-so-portable CAD machine. Sketchup for iPad has been out for a little while now, and I've used it on a few jobs. I'd like to do a quick rundown of its strengths and weaknesses, and really see how it changes things, and if my trusty laptop is destined for the bin. So to use SketchUp on your iPad, you will first need a license of SketchUp Pro. The good news is if you already have a license on your desktop, then you will have access to the iPad version for free.
Hello, Editing Greg here. I may have forgotten to mention during the record that SketchUp on the iPad does not come with a version of layout. So scale drawings, plans and construction drawings are also not really a possibility on the iPad. But that's the real reason you were coming here to find out. That's that done now. So anyway, back to the video. Bye.
Starting off with some great news, all of your tools are here from the basic version of SketchUp. Shapes, movement, scaling and extrusion are all present. All the old favourites are here on the right too in the collapsible tray. So you've got your entity info, you've got your shadows, you've got scenes, got some tags there, even got the outliner there, so that's all pretty cool, present and correct. I'm sure you get used to the controls very quickly in this. It all feels very familiar to any other 3D viewing software you may have used on a touchscreen device. So a single finger movement will rotate your camera around. 2 fingers at the same time will pan. You can use a little pinch motion to zoom in and out. And if you want to change the focal length of the camera, you can use 3 fingers here to do that as well. No big surprises there. Selection's all very similar as well. So if you click on an item once, it will select a single line or a face. If you select an item by double clicking, it will generally select the face and all surrounding edges. And if you tap on an item 3 times, it will select all of the connecting geometry. There's also a marquee tool, which, much like in the desktop version, if you select from left to right, it will only select items entirely within the marquee. And if you select from right to left, it will select every item that marquee touches. So far, so SketchUp. Now, I'd be really interested to find out how other people are getting along with this without the accessories. Personally, I wouldn't really be able to get on with this without the pencil and the keyboard, so it's not a cheap investment. Really, if you're going to work with any level of accuracy, you're going to need the pencil, especially if you have hands made of ham like yours truly. All the stuff like components, styles, layers, tags and scenes all work very much like they do in the desktop version. And another piece of good news is the fact that all the keyboard shortcuts are the same, so I can do things like move here and the directional lock keys still work. Hello, mate. You know, if I want to turn that into a component, Steve the Cube, that all works as you would expect it to. So this is all fantastic news. Hello. Like I said, if there is anyone out there working without the pencil and the keyboard and doing screen only, I'd really like to hear from you and see how you get along. Personally, I'm so attached to the keyboard shortcut methods, I would find that a real difficulty to adapt to. Some little things actually seem to work a bit more intuitively than they do on the desktop version even. So there's a really handy flip tool. You select your item you want to flip, you can just click on the axis you want to flip it in, which actually appears to work a bit more intuitively than the desktop version. The other cool little feature that could be quite handy is there is a markup tool. God, where the hell did that go? Which allows you to just put some scribbles onto your drawings if you want to send some really quick notes over to someone. You know, so that's all going to be quite helpful. Oh, what's that? Can you tell that I don't really use markup very much? But I'm sure in the near future that will be incredibly useful for me. It also saves some of these scribbles per scene as well, so you can actually, like, as you're working, you can go back to your notes. If you want to save them, you can also just get rid of them if you don't want them. Go away. Thank you very much. As well as these cool little features, there's a bunch of sexy new ones as well. So you've got things like this full screen presentation version, which allows you to cycle through some scene numbers. This can also be combined with using different scene settings and tags and stuff if you want to offer up different options of things. So another fun feature is the fact that it comes with an AR mode, which allows you to place your model in miniature, either on a table or something, or you can blow it up to full scale and walk around in it in AR. That's pretty cool. But the reality is a little bit fiddly to use. It's quite hard to place your model and get it to stay where you want it to be. It's not particularly accurate in terms of, if you're trying to position something in a room where it's going to stand, it's quite hard to get it to, look right. It is something with a lot of potential though, and I'll be interested to see where it goes over the coming years. And finally, there's the exciting new auto shape tool, which basically means that you can kind of just scribble a shape and SketchUp will basically figure out what you're trying to draw. This includes things like flat polygons, extrusions, as well as some three-dimensional primitives such as spheres. So yeah, if you draw a little rectangle, for instance, or a circle with a line on it, it will do a little cylinder. If you do the same thing with a rectangle, pretty exciting stuff. If you do a bit of that, it's a sphere. So the Auto Shape tool also has a few really cool additions as well. So you can draw some little architectural shapes onto things, such as this door and a window. Maybe a single different styles of windows. And what you can do in the object entity window here, you can actually adjust things like the window's width, window's height, the different type of window it is. So if you want a casement, for instance, a left swing casement, you can open the window, close the window. It's really cool what they've done here. What I would say though is in the real world, I don't know how accurate this is. It could be a real ball ache to try and draw anything of any meaning with it. It's a really impressive tool for knocking together an idea, and I would be interested to see what people do with it. Same thing goes to the general Auto Shape tool. It is really cool. At the moment, I've not been able to do anything particularly accurate with it. I think generally speaking, I will continue to draw things manually, but it will be interesting to see where it goes. Overall, I think Trimble have done really well here, bringing the core tool set of SketchUp over to the iPad. It's really impressive to see. It's quite nice to use, it's generally very stable. I would say that at the moment I'll be a lot quicker generally using my old laptop keyboard and mouse setup. That might be because I'm old and I have not had a chance to practice with this too much yet. Is it going to replace my laptop? No. And the reason I would say that is because the majority of what I do on the laptop involves third-party plugins, and without those plugins, I'm not able to round the corners off things, bevel the corners off things, import complex geometry and reduce the poly count. I'm not able to use the push-pull multiple surfaces tool. I'm not able to draw onto curved surfaces, and most importantly, I'm not able to render. But overall, it is a really impressive tool, and I will be using it more and more for meetings, recce's, presentations, and I'm really excited to see where the AR stuff goes. I think that's really exciting. I do hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful. I'd love to hear from other people using SketchUp on the iPad. If you would like to see more stuff like this, do leave a comment. Please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you again on the Set Design channel. Thank you, bye.